Here's a spider two-Y banana. This is the Bengals' best play on offense yesterday. They threw a spider two-Y banana to a tackle. The Cincinnati Bengals did not make a first down in the second half against Cleveland, but there you see it. Spider two-Y banana to an offensive lineman. I just think Cody Ford is the fullback right here in the flat. I was hoping he'd get the ball. But you see, it's still a very good play, but the Bengal offense with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, the highlight of their day was a 1-yard spider two-Y banana.
This is one of those games we talked about a little bit earlier. Now, the Bengals never win. They're like 1-11 under the head coach in week 1 and week 2. This is, if you're the Browns, how do you come out of this game? Because their defense looks spectacular. You shut down this high-powered offense, but you browned it up. You figured out a way to lose. The kicker, what do you do if you have a kicker who misses a 35-yard or an extra point? Like, I never feel like kickers are part of the game. Can you cut the guy after week 1? Like, what do you do with a situation like this? And if the Browns, is there silver lining or is it not? Just because the Browns always do this, they figure out ways to lose.
Well, Dustin Hopkins really struggled last year, and obviously the kicking game killed Cleveland. They had 36 minutes of possession. For them to lose that game, not giving up a first down, there might be a mutiny in the Browns locker room today. They're just snake bitten yesterday, Dave. It was a very disappointing loss, but to hold Joe Burrow without a first down for an entire half is a great performance. You got to give, however, the Cincinnati Bengal defense a lot of credit. These guys were crucified last year for not being able to get off the field. And you got to give Al Golden, the new defensive coordinator, a lot of credit. He had the Bengal defense playing hard, and they were opportunistic when they needed it the most.
How old is Joe Flacco? 72?
Right at 40,
I think he's closing in on 43, I believe. He's an old quarterback.
It's amazing because he looked better than 80% of the quarterbacks out there. He throws these Chad Pennington pillows right on the numbers every single time. He's better than the fact he's still doing it is amazing.
I think Cleveland needs another receiver or two. I was impressed with the Browns' young tight end from Bowling Green. He came in, made 6 or 7 catches, but the tipped interception at the end of the game, I didn't think it was Flacco's fault. I thought he threw the ball away from pressure. It was tipped and dropped and intercepted, but the Cleveland Browns, they got to head to Baltimore next week. I just think it's a matter of time before we see Dillon Gabriel. They got to move on pretty quickly at quarterback also.
What do you say to the kicker if you're the coach?
I don't say anything. I just go probably see the general manager and see who's out there. Can we bring another kicker in here?
Is that a literal after that 1 week? Would that be your move? You don't give him another shot?
Well, Hopkins had a tough year last year, and he obviously is not off to a very good start. There's got to be something. Perhaps he's injured. I don't know. I would get to the bottom of it, but you're paid money to make these kicks, extra points, mid-range field goals. You got to count on your kicker to be your leading scorer and your Iceman in critical situations. This is a horrible way for the Browns to lose a game. And I don't know how you have confidence in him moving forward. I thought New England lost confidence in their kicker yesterday as well.
Well, our kicker's wearing breathe rights. He has have you ever seen a kicker wear a breathe right?
No.
Our guy's wearing breathe rights. Insane. When you go into a kicker's wearing a breathe right.
Baby can't breathe.
He's got tattoos all the way up and down.
What's wrong with tattoos?
Not for a kicker. I want my kicker to be clean cut, no tattoos, no breathe rights, look like a dork. That's what I want on my kicker. What does a kicker do in the locker room, John? So this guy blows the game. These guys are working their asses off. The Browns should have won the game. He single-handedly loses it, not on 55-yarders, makeable kicks. Does he even go in the locker room? He goes in the locker room, gets out of there. Like what? Because I assume he's under threat of getting beaten up.
Well, there's a lot of screaming and yelling at times. There's no question about it. But you got to go behind the scenes a little bit to see what's happening. I've seen a lot of these kicks missed because the holder doesn't get the ball down properly. I got to look into it if I'm the coach, but there's going to be a lot of bitterness, a lot of emotion in this rivalry game. Cincinnati versus Cleveland. This is a big game. It's always decided by a play or two or a kick or two. And I know they were probably ticked off in the locker room, to say the least.
This is the game that Sam White said. Isn't this where he said, you don't act like trash, you don't live in Cleveland? Isn't that the game? Sam White took the microphone and did that?